Secondly, one of the most controversial aspects to the TPP proposal is a question of whether or not there should be mandatory contracts between the third-party payment service and the banks. A number of banks have requested contracts that would regulate their relations with the TPPs. However, I feel that such contracts should not be imposed by legislation, given the main relationship is not between the TPPs and the banks, but between consumers and the TPPs. Indeed, the prime relationship between the consumers and the TPPs should not be subject to a contract established between the two parties of any necessary connection. What we should do on PST2 is to ensure that TPPs provide account servicing providers, for example banks, with full identification and authentication during any given transaction. The third consideration that requires attention is the question of security of all the participants in the process. This is evidently of major concern, and many stakeholders have underlined the weakness of the existing security provisions associated with TPPs. Here it is essential that we ensure that all users are able to make use of the system in a secure manner. In this respect, retailers should receive payments promptly and consumers should be sure that no amount will be removed for their accounts other than the authorized amount. With regard to the specific question of TPP's legislation, should guarantee a set of security features such as compulsory registration with the competent authorities. The HEBA should make the list of all certified TPPs registered with the EU available on its website. All payment institutions must offer direct links on their websites to the HEBA list. Pays who are willing to make use of a TPP must provide payers with information about the TPP in question. When communicating with a payer's bank, the TPP should supply authentications and transmit the consent of the payer to the account service payment service provider prior to request any personalized security features from the payer. TPP access to account information concerning the payer should be limited to the information on the availability of funds for the specified payment transactions. Fourth, I have put forward an idea that I have called common and secure open standards of communication to be achieved under the auspices of HEBA. The idea is to have in all EU common methods of communication, of identification and of initiating a payment. This idea is still in an early stage, so I am welcome other MEPs ideas on the matter, but I do believe that such standards will help to reconcile safety with competition. Finally, the last question that I should like to touch on concerns surcharges. Here it is necessary that we create conditions of equity between the various payments means, given that this will further the interests of consumers. As things stand, certain member states, including Portugal, prohibit the application of surcharges. I talk about Portugal because it's my country. The lack of harmonization at European level, with several different regimes being found in various member states, is a source of difficulty and confusion for both merchants and consumers. This is particularly the case with cross-border transactions and payments made by Internet. In this respect, the Commission proposal for PST2 recommends generalizing the acceptance of surchargings with two provisions. These are, firstly, that surcharge do not exceed the costs borne by the payee for the use of a specific payment instrument. Secondly, payees should not be able to request surcharge for the use of payment instruments for which interchange fees are regulated. From my perspective, whilst there are certainly advantages with harmonization, I have one doubt about the Commission proposal. I feel that it makes sense to allow Member States the freedom to choose whether to prohibit or to allow surcharging given the particularities and diversity of national markets. By way of conclusion, my desire is, above all, to bring transparency and safety to our market. On the safety side, we want to be able to tell our citizens that it is safe to make online payments as it is to make offline payments. We want citizens to know exactly in which market players they can and cannot rely, and then those players need to respect European supervision standards. On the transparency side, I want to create the necessary tools that lead to a more consumer-friendly cost transparency regime. The aim is to leave to both the consumers and the merchants the options of choosing the method of payment that fulfills their needs. By doing so, we create a space that will lead to the creation of new and different methods of payment. E-commerce is booming, and we see more and more SMEs using the online commerce to go behind their national borders, and by allowing them to have access to easy and secure methods of payments, we are raising their consumers' potential by 503 million citizens, and this is the EU alone. Thank you very much.